Ich war kein Thief, football cards, we're here to light the fire. Spitting facts and stats, you know we never tire. Bringing the heat up, that passion won't retire. Busting through the mic, our voices never expire. We ignite the spirit, never fading out. Light the torch, USC fans rise up high. On this podcast, we aim for the sky. Knowledge and entertainment, never lie. Together we stand, let the truth amplify.
What's going on, Trojan fans? It's game week. We've had a bye, so finally it's game week. It's our second bye of the year, which is crazy. We don't normally have that, but yep. And as you guys can see, we have a special guest with us today. We have TJ Birkel from the Common Fan Podcast. He's going to be our Nebraska host for us today. So go ahead and say what's up, TJ.
Hey guys, thanks so much for having me on. This is fun. This is awesome. Great to see you guys.
Really appreciate it. And how long have you been a fan of Nebraska?
I mean, I'm 42 years old, so 42 years. It's in the blood, man. I was born and raised in Lincoln, and I grew up going to the games. I grew up selling concessions, walking the steps and selling concessions at the games. I was a kid in the 90s when we won 3 national titles in 4 years. I was a teenager, so kind of like the perfect ages for all that.
Right on. That sounds like some glory times to live through. So that's good. That's good to hear. And but yeah, we have the usual suspects in our live today. We have B Jones to the right of me. Say what's up, B Jones.
What's up, B Jones?
All right. And we have Guns to the far right of me. How's everything going over there, Guns?
Doing good. Yeah, excited to see a game this upcoming weekend.
Right on. And then we have Mr. Raul Flores right underneath me. Say what's up, Raul.
Fight on. And in honor of flip season, just wearing that LA hat today for the Dodgers.
All right, so today we're going to be diving into some Nebraska lore, just asking some TJ some questions. So if you have some questions for him in the chat, please go ahead and dump those into the chat, and we'll hopefully get to those. But first off, we're going to go ahead and start off with our first question here, and let me just get that here. So I'm going to ask you just kind of some thoughts on like the coaching staff. So thoughts on Matt Rule's tenure so far, like. What are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I think I got to say, by the way, that intro you guys have is pretty sweet. I might have to pick your brain off camera about how to do that. We're a little more basic at the Common Fan Pod. We're Common fans, so that's pretty cool. I'd say enthusiasm has been really high for Rule. I mean, he's a really charismatic and engaging guy, and he turned around Temple, he turned around Baylor, that were both like completely in the dumpster when he took over. And by year 3 at each of those programs, he was at, I think, 10 or 11 wins at each place. And so, unfortunately, sadly for Nebraska, which kind of where we are at the last almost decade now, we need a rebuild, right? I mean, even after Tom Osborne retired in the late 90s, we were still pretty good for quite a while there, right? And we were usually in the top 25, occasionally playing for the conference title. But since about 2015, we've had one winning season since 2015, I think it is. And so, and Scott Frost was supposed to be kind of the home run hire that fixed everything. And guy never even went to a bowl game, which will never stop being shocking to me. And so I think Rule is kind of the guy that we need. I think last year, 5-7 in year 1. That's better than Frost did. The team did the year before. Better than Frost's last full season in 2021. And so, like, it felt like a step forward. He didn't have nearly the pieces that he needed. And then we started 5-1 this year. Had a decisive win over longtime rival Colorado. Everyone was feeling just flying high, right? Like getting top 25 votes. I think we were in the top 25 one week. I know we were. And then we've lost the last 3. And so, Indiana clearly is pretty good. So we lost Indiana, lost to Ohio State, made that a very interesting game and had a fourth quarter lead against those guys, but lost that one. And then the really disappointing one was when 2-5 UCLA came to Lincoln. We had a bye week this last weekend as well, but the weekend before. And I think they're a little better than their 2-5 record, but to me, there's no excuse for losing that game. It's a first-year head coach. It's a 2-5 team. We're supposed to be the one that's sort of, elevated to the next level this season. So that was really disappointing. I was in the house for that one. And really it was 27-20, but at one point it was 27-7, guys. So it was the Huskers made it interesting late, but it really wasn't that great of a game. So it's, I think part of what's people are like, Rhule's seat is not hot. People are in on Rhule. They're buying what he's selling still. But I think the frustrating thing for Husker fans is we've seen this movie so many times, and it spans multiple coaching staffs, multiple roster turnovers, and it's kind of the same issues of not being able to win close games, showing up and sort of almost beating the Ohio States of the world, but not winning, and then sort of not showing up for like the UCLAs of the world. So I don't know. I sort of don't always buy that. Well, it's a culture issue. It's just and systemic in the program. Like eventually, like somebody's got, you can fix that quickly. Maybe Rhule's encountering more issues there than he thought, but overall, I'm babbling. I'm sorry. Overall, people are still Husker Nation is still pretty high on Matt Rhule.
Well, that's good. At least you can say that about your head coach.
Well, listen, I mean, it just sounds so familiar. Everything you just said.
It does. I thought you were talking about USC for a second.
Yeah, right. We did ask him about Nebraska, right?
Hey, you guys, I would kill for an 11-win season. That wasn't that long ago. It was 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
It feels like so long ago.
You're right.
Oh, I hear you.
Guys, you got it.
Yeah. So a question is, what are your thoughts on Tony White in his tenure as the DC so far? I mean, we talked about Rhule. He hired him, brought him on the staff. There was rumblings of us taking him. So just what are your overall thoughts about him?
Yeah, we're big Tony White fans. I mean, if you think about Nebraska historically, our defense is known as the Black Shirts, right? It's like a core part of the program's identity. The teams from the heyday, even when we weren't winning national titles, were always physical, always played good defense, right? For the most part. And so the fact that we kind of got away from that with Mike Riley and with Scott Frost was really, really frustrating. And so, Rhule is a guy that prioritizes defense. And that's one thing that did improve very quickly last year. And Tony White came in and flipped that defense. And I think they were like 13th in total defense last year and really solid, especially on rushing defense. They had some issues, had a little trouble getting off the field on third down, had a little more trouble against the pass. But I mean, overall, the extent to which Tony White completely flipped the defense has been really impressive. I'd say that has continued this year. I mean, they're either in the top 15 or top 25 in most of the major categories in terms of like scoring defense, total defense, rushing defense, that sacks, tackles for loss. I think last year they may have been helped a little bit by playing so many Big Ten West teams, if you catch my drift, just like really offensively impaired teams. And so I think that might have been part of it, but hey, they still did the job and still took care of business more often than not. So they get credit for that. So I think this year they've been, they really, if you watch that Ohio State game, but for a couple of big plays that Ohio State scored on, Ohio State only had one drive where they actually went down the field and scored. I mean, we stopped them on multiple fourth downs, big time stops in the run game, had a timely pick in the third quarter. So, I mean, the defense is really good, and we love Tony White. It's been a come back down to earth a little bit this year, just like Illinois, UCLA are a couple that come to mind where it wasn't terrible, but it was kind of like, you need the defense to you'd expect them to maybe button it up a little bit more in those games. You maybe don't expect it as much against like an Ohio State. And then of course we lost 56-7 to Indiana, and everybody was just sort of like, what's happening here? Yeah. And the whole team kind of didn't show up for that one. So I don't know. I mean, Indiana again is obviously probably pretty good, but I don't know what else to make of that one.
Were you nervous when there was rumblings that USC was looking forward to?
Yes. Nobody wants Tony White to go.
Right.
We were very nervous about that. And I know, he's like an LA guy and has some
Yeah.
roots there and stuff. So yes, we did not like that at all. And I'm glad that you failed to lure him.
Yeah. It's actually funny because we did a whole video about Tony White because we thought for sure that we were going to get him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I dropped a video.
Yeah, I think to this day, it's still our most viewed video.
It is.
Oh, nice.
I think so. And you guys ended up restructuring his contract, didn't you?
I was just going to say he got a nice pay raise out of that deal. So
maybe that was his plan the whole time.
He's doing okay. I mean, he's made clear that he wants to be a head coach, and Rule, even in the offseason last year, like Rule was upfront and said, like, if my guys are going on getting bigger jobs, that means this program is succeeding and thriving. And he was like, I'll help him be a head coach however I can. So like everybody knew he interviewed, I think, for the UCLA head job and maybe Syracuse, a couple other head jobs. And everybody just kind of knew that was out there. So I think we all know we're on borrowed time with Tony White, but Husker fans are hoping maybe he'll stick around for like a couple more years before he gets that big head coaching job.
See, like that's another thing. You sound like us because we're thinking the same thing about Danton Lynn.
Really?
Yeah.
I got to say, guys, and I don't mean this trash talk wise, because you could poke holes in plenty of Nebraska stuff. Watching USC a few times last year, I was like, man, it doesn't even look like they practice tackling. And so like it feels like, just as an outsider who I have 3 kids, so it's all I can do to watch Nebraska play, but I try to watch other conference schools or other games of interest as much as I can. It seems like the D has massively improved for you guys this year.
Yes. At least someone sees that. At least someone sees that. Like, no, it's really been a huge difference with just fundamentals.
Yeah, sure. No, you
Just
can definitely
the same thing too. So don't feel bad. It's not trash talk. We said it here plenty of times, man. Look like they never even attempted to tackle in practice. So.
We would hand out ice cream.
All right, and
I have a few questions for you, TJ.
Sure. Go ahead, Ro.
If you can kind of tell us a little bit more about traditions at Nebraska. You were offline, you were talking about a big one, so if you want to bring that up, flex a little bit, and and then why should we visit Lincoln at one point, or why we shouldn't?
Well, you should. Let's see. We play you guys in Lincoln next year, so you should come to that game. And we just hosted our first ever Common Fan tailgate for the UCLA game this year. So we'll just make sure to host it for the USC game next year, and you guys can all come to our tailgate and eat delicious Nebraska beef and have some beers on us. How about that? Yeah, there you go.
Like a plan.
So I mean, a big one for Nebraska that I think a lot of people know about is the sellout streak. So we've sold out the Illinois game, which was, I think, end of mid or late September this year, was our 400th consecutive sellout. So Nebraska has sold out Memorial Stadium every game since 1962. And that's something Husker fans pride themselves on. I was mentioning it's kind of everybody kind of knows there have been some lean years recently, and there were a few times where corporate donors had to buy the last few thousand tickets, and they had a cool program there where they were like donating it to kids in need who wouldn't otherwise get to go to a game. So in my opinion, that was pretty cool, and keep the streak going, and win, right? But the way I always think about it is like, for a team that hasn't even been to a bowl game since 2016, like, we're still packing the house, man. I mean, Husker fans are rabid. It's in our DNA. It's in our blood. And so like it's a great game day environment. The tailgate scene is super fun. It's super friendly. That's another thing we're known for, is being very friendly fans. And like, I think you'd really enjoy it. And then the other thing that I love, I feel like they need to kind of revamp it, but just the tunnel walk that we do, they play the Alan Parsons Project song, the Chicago Bulls song, Serious. And the Bulls song from like the Jordan days. I don't know if the Bulls do it anymore. But you would totally recognize it. And they used to do this cool thing where they had like digital graphics or like animated graphics of like, each year it was different. And sometimes it would mix in like highlights from years gone by, or other times it would mix in landmarks from around the state. But it was always like a tour around the state. And then it ended up at Memorial Stadium. And then it ended up on the doors of the locker room, digitally or animated, and then they would open and the players would be there and the place would totally go nuts and the players would come walking out, and it's awesome. The tunnel walk is still something to see. It's not as cool as it used to be, in my opinion. And I'm not saying they need to do that thing with the animated thing before, like they did before, but they need to revamp it a little bit. Anyway, but the tunnel walk is still pretty cool to see. And then, well, I'll save the next one because it might get at another question you might ask me, and I'll bring it up either way.
All right, great. B Jones, what do you got?
You're muted.
So you guys recently made a change, not obscurity, but Dana Holgerson will now be calling the plays. Just give me your thoughts on that and your expectations.
Yeah, so it's really fascinating. You know, Dana Holgerson, as I'm sure you guys know, he's been an well-known kind of offensive guy. He's been an offensive coordinator at multiple schools, and then he was a head coach at both West Virginia and Houston. And he's kind of like a lot of these coaches do. He's kind of in between jobs right now. And there were rumblings of Rule knows him from the Big 12 days when he was at West Virginia and Rule was at Baylor. And so like they talked in the offseason, like it was kind of not a secret. Everybody knew they were kind of talking, and everybody was kind of like analyst role or something more. What could this be? And nothing really came of it. And then, you know, this season, again, we started 5-1 and everybody was flying high. And then we lost 3 in a row and we're 5-4. And after that loss to UCLA, Rule got up at the press conference on Monday and said, we're going to bring in some outside people to just assess, you know, fresh set of eyes and assess everything going on with the program. So that was Dana Holgerson for the offense and Phil Snow, who's a longtime Rule confidant and longtime defensive coordinator, to look at the defense. Even though I kind of wonder, like, if that was just trying to not make the offensive guys feel too bad. The defense doesn't need a whole lot of help. Like, I don't know. Like that's just like, you know, equal opportunity critiques or something. But so Holgerson, like, came into the building. He came to Lincoln, like came into the building, was watching film, watching practice, etc. This was the Monday after UCLA, which was a bye week. And so the news that week was basically there's these outsiders kind of taking things in. I don't think anybody expected what came next, which was this last Monday, where Rule gets up at the press conference and he says, Dana Holgerson is going to start calling plays and serve as the offensive coordinator for the rest of the season. And people have been having a hard time finding a comparison of not just replacing your offensive coordinator mid-season, but bringing in somebody completely from the outside and taking over the play calling duties, you know, with basically 2 weeks, you know, less than 2 weeks of preparation. So I think if you want to put a positive spin on it, the hope from Husker Nation is that he can inject some energy and some juice into the offense and come up with something. I mean, the word that we're hearing is he's not like installing an air raid offense with new plays and new terminology. He's sort of absorbing what Nebraska has been doing and using their terminology. And I think he's trying to look at what do you do really well, and let's boil that down. What are our best, 15 or 20 plays, and let's not overcomplicate things. I think we're all hoping he can also implement like a few wrinkles that nobody's seen before. Like, let's get a little creative here. But you know, I think the hope is if he can be good for, you know, if he could be good for 7 more points a game, then that's 3 more wins for us this year. You know, like if you look at, that's overly simplified probably, but I think the hope is he can squeeze a little bit more out of this offense and the defense. I mean, look, do I want us to win out and end 8-4? Yes, I do. Do I expect that to happen? No. Like, what would be cataclysmic for the Rule era would be to lose your last 6 games after starting 5-1 and not get to a bowl game. So while he's not on the hot seat, I think this move is a clear sign that he's feeling some pressure, that they've got to find a 6th win. Hopefully there's maybe a 7th or an 8th win out there too. But certainly get to 6-6 and a bowl game. I mean, look, if we went 6-6 and then went and won the bowl game and ended 7-6, that's something we haven't done around here for a long time. In the offseason, it might be time to say it was a little bit disappointing that we didn't do more after we started so strong. But I think by and large, people would be pretty happy with that. But you've got to at least get one more win and get to a bowl game if you're Matt Rule.
Yeah, definitely. All right, yeah, like that sounds crazy. I don't think, yeah, like you said, I don't think anyone has ever just upended and hired an outside person just to be the offensive coordinator for the last remaining 3 games of the season. So this could work out good for him, or this could at this point just be he could be the future OC, so he can have a full offseason with this team and implement his own offense. So should be interesting.
That's definitely the hope. I think Rule was quick to say at the press conference, like, once the offseason comes, who knows what's going to happen. Holgerson could have head coaching offers or other job offers or whatever. But I think Rule kind of, I'd have to go back. I was watching it. I have to go back and watch it again. I don't know if he flat out said, but he made it pretty clear we'd love to have Holgerson as the offensive coordinator in 2025. So, to the extent that if it could be marginally better this year and then give him a full offseason, Husker fans are always going to give themselves a reason to find some optimism. So people would be pretty jacked about that if we were able to hold on to Holgerson in the offseason, I think.
Right on. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into some predictions for this upcoming game here. So let's get into some keys to victory on both sides of the ball for Nebraska to win this game against SC.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is running quarterbacks have given us fits for as long as I can remember. And so I don't know that anybody knows exactly what to expect from Jayden Maiava. Did I say that right?
Yep.
But that makes me nervous. That it would be a total Nebraska thing to get somebody's like second string quarterback and have him run for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns and just completely run away with the thing. So figuring out how to make stops on defense is basically what it comes down to, but really handle the running quarterback is a big one. And then for me on offense, it's such a wild card. I mean, I guess just be better. I don't know, like be better because we scored, let's see, our first 3 games, we won 40-7, 28-10,
yep,
and 34-3. Right.
Yeah.
Since conference play has started, the offense has looked mostly like it did last year, which was not very good. So that's probably better teams, better coaching in the Big Ten, whatever you want to attribute it to. We only scored 14 points against Rutgers, even in the wins. Purdue shut us out in the first half. Purdue. And so the offense has just been kind of stalling. Dylan Raiola, true freshman, 5-star quarterback, looked great at the beginning of the year. He's kind of hit some, freshman speed bumps. We're not even sure if he had some, got drilled in the back against UCLA. So not even sure if he's going to play.
Oh, okay.
So offense is just like, I guess to me on offense, what I'm hoping for more than anything is and I'm not an X's and O's guy. So people who watch football enough know, does it pass the eye test? Are they doing enough differently or better that, like, even if we lose to USC, for instance, I want to walk away from that game saying, all right, we found something on offense. We can go beat Wisconsin. We can go beat Iowa. Right. So like, that's what I just want to see something on offense that gives us hope that Holgerson's maybe simplified things, maybe added some wrinkles, whatever it might be, to help this offense like find an edge. I mean, they just had like zero identity. They don't do anything particularly well. And so I want to see some progress there.
Who's the back quarterback?
His name is Heinrich Harburg. He is from Kearney, Nebraska. He was a starter for 5 or 6 games last year. Phenomenal athlete. One of his parents was an Olympian. Like, he's an unbelievable athlete. But they basically, when Jeff Sims got hurt last year, they basically were like calling Tom Osborne and running the old school option with Harburg last year. So he's clearly worked on his passing game and I think is serviceable as a passer, but that's not really his game. So, and that's one more wrinkle. Like, they've sort of built this pro style offense around Dylan Raiola. It's sort of been hit or miss at best, but now what do you do if Raiola can't go and it's Harburg? And, do you just, there's so many questions up in the air for Nebraska. I'm excited and yet very nervous to watch this game.
Yeah, like, it should be interesting. Like, so they haven't had any updates on Dylan if he's going to be starting, or
latest update was he's working through it and they hope he can go. But Rule was like, somebody asked him, was like, well, if it's Harburg, what are you going to do on offense? And he basically said, like, look, we're watching UNLV film of Maiava here. Like, I'm not going to give them anything. Like, we have no idea. We're prepping for a quarterback that hasn't played. We haven't seen play at USC. They're prepping for a new offensive coordinator. They're probably watching old Holgerson film. Like, nobody knows what the hell is going to happen here. Like,
That's true. See, we would be happy if Jayden Maiava ran for 300 yards because that would just be out of the ordinary for Lincoln Riley this season. So,
well, it would be just our luck to have it happen for Nebraska or against Nebraska.
All right.
So one other thing to the earlier question about traditions in Lincoln. I wasn't sure if one of the other I wanted to save it in case you asked me, but one thing Nebraska, I'll couple two different things, but we're famous for a local chain called Runza. So Runza has really great burgers and fries. I usually get a burger there, but a Runza is a thing, and it's basically like breaded. It's like breaded on the outside and like beef and cabbage on the inside. And you can get it with cheese. You can get different. So if you Google a Runza, you got to try a Runza. They sell them at the stadium, so they're pretty good. And then the other thing, I still have in 42 years of living on this earth, I haven't determined if this is a Nebraska only thing or kind of a Midwestern thing. And this is kind of tied to Runza because Runza sells this also, but it's broader than Runza. We eat chili with cinnamon rolls. And it's a phenomenal combination. If you think about like the spice of the chili combined with the sweetness of like a warm cinnamon roll, I mean, again, some people like recoil at that thought of them together, but you can get chili and cinnamon rolls at Runza. You can get them elsewhere. I highly recommend. And then there's a debate within the chili and cinnamon roll situation about, is it acceptable to break off a piece of the cinnamon roll and dip, or do you take bites separately? I'm a dipper myself. I think it's perfectly acceptable to dip, but that's an ongoing debate as well.
I'm looking at the Runza right now, and it definitely looks interesting. So
it's not for one of our co-hosts like constantly complains about how much he does not like Runzas, and we're like, well, there goes our sponsorship opportunity with them.
Yeah, I definitely like cinnamon rolls, and I definitely like chili, but I never even thought to put them together.
Yeah,
you got to try it. You got to try it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and it is a thing. So, all right, all right, interesting. All right,
we didn't have chili and cinnamon rolls at the tailgate this year, so maybe we'll aim for that next year.
All right, so we have our final question here for you. Give us your scores and predictions for this game.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, there's no way I'm going to come on a USC podcast and predict a Nebraska loss. Let me be clear about that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I wouldn't expect anything less.
I'll say in a wild one where, Holgerson unlocks something in the offense and Maiava runs wild. I don't even really believe this, but Nebraska 42, USC 41. How about that?
Shootout, huh?
Just goes against all conventional wisdom.
It kind of does. It really does.
It's kind of like it becomes clear early that it's just going to be a totally wild off-script game, and something crazy happens for Nebraska to win it at the end.
But you know what, TJ? This is college football, and anything can happen, man. I would not even
exactly
be
right. That's
and
exactly
I respect that. Because anything can happen because we didn't think we would lose to Maryland or Minnesota. So your guess is as good as our guess at this point for this game.
What about you guys? Or are you doing predictions at a later date?
Yeah, we usually do ours in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we really appreciate you coming on to the show, and like that whole Runza thing, I'm definitely going to have to take a look at that. Maybe when we come out there for the Nebraska game next year, we'll have to try that out.
I love it. Definitely check it out.
And just so you know, we're not giving our prediction, but just know that we're going to predict the USC win.
I would expect nothing less.
And
where can we see your podcast?
Yeah.
We're Common Fan. Thanks for asking. Common Fan Podcast. You can access all the audio and visual platforms visual platforms on our website, commonfan.co. If you just go to YouTube and search Common Fan Podcast. Any USC fans who want to subscribe to Husker Football Podcast would love to have you subscribe. But it's the Common Fan Podcast. We're on all the major audio platforms as well, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, etc. But the easiest way to do it is just to go to commonfan.co. We put out a bunch of written content. We do the pod, and would love, would love, as you guys can relate, would love to have your subscription on YouTube in particular.
we just put your we just put your link to your YouTube in the chat here, and I'll put your guys' website on there as well here.
Awesome, thanks.
I have that right here, so go ahead and show them some love.
I will, if I have 2 more minutes. I must say I have really enjoyed interacting with USC fans on like Twitter and stuff. Like I feel like they've been. If I had to have guessed in advance, I would have thought there may have been like a little more arrogance from USC fans, and I found them to be pretty chill and pretty cool, and we seem to be united in hatred of some of the other Big Ten teams. So, shout out to USC fans. I almost, as Common Fan listeners know, and I was telling you guys, I was born and raised in Lincoln, lifelong Husker fan. I live in Oregon. I was kind of toying with just jumping on a plane and just going for the day to the game on Saturday and flying home Saturday night, but I just can't make it work with kids and all kinds of schedules and all that stuff. Yeah. But I would love to go to, we'll make it happen one of these days. We'll go to a game in the Coliseum.
Hey, TJ, I have one last question before you head out. One of our friends here from a chat asked us to ask you.
Okay.
You don't have to answer it if you don't want to, all right? We don't want to get you in trouble in any way, but what do you think of Raiola's style of dressing?
Like Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Oh, Raiola's.
Yeah, Raiola's, yeah.
I think that whole thing is overblown and everybody needs to take it easy on a 19-year-old kid. That's what I think.
Facts.
Yeah.
So as long as he doesn't look like Mahomes, I'll be okay with the kid on Saturday.
Yeah, we could use a Mahomes-like performance on Saturday. That would be fantastic.
All right. Well, we really appreciate your time, and we'll probably have to do this again next year, right before when we go out to Nebraska. So we'll definitely hit you up next year. All right.
Yeah, would love that. Thanks. You guys have been awesome. I appreciate it talking to you.
All right. See you later.
Yeah.
All right. That was TJ Birkel from the Common Fan Podcast. Make sure you guys go give them a like and subscribe over there. And make sure you give them check them out, man. It's really cool guys.
Yeah, that was definitely a great interaction. And it is crazy that they've had 400 plus sellouts. Like, must be nice.
Must be
nice.
What would it take for that to happen at the Coliseum?
We'd have to win a national championship 3 years in a row, probably.
Not even that. Too much.
He said not even that.
There's too much things going on in LA in terms of concerts, other sports teams. It's just hard.
I feel like we would have to win the national championship, go undefeated, and have a Heisman at the same time. Then we can start getting sellouts.
Yeah, I mean that'll sell out. But if we have like some mediocre seasons, like no disrespect to Nebraska, but they haven't looked great right over the last few years, and they're still selling out. If that happens at USC, we're not selling out, unfortunately.
But let's go ahead and get into our weekly predictions here. So we're going to go ahead and we're not going to do the pregame recap for right now, but we'll go ahead and do first quarter here, offensive success. So this is going to be different for us this week. So, all right, B. Jones, give us your thoughts on offensive success for USC.
Well, we don't really know what to expect from Jayden Maiava. We know what he's capable of. Excuse me. But I will say, if he does what we think, he does what he is capable of, we should have no problem moving the ball on offense. And if not, if he is struggling somehow, we need to rely on our running game. Nebraska's run defense is good, not great. Let's see like that based on what I've seen. We can't run the ball on these guys. We've been pretty much able to run the ball on every team that we played so far. Even with even in Michigan, we ran the ball well. So we shouldn't have any trouble running football.
Wait,
so
did you say the rush defense is good, or not great?
yes, I said not great.
Oh, okay, because I'm looking at 13th in the nation right now, so averaging 102 yards.
Based on what I said, listen, I hear you. I see what's on paper. But don't get me wrong. Their D line is nice. Their front seven is nice, but we can't run the ball. Is what I'm saying.
All right.
Just like we did with Penn State.
Do you want to try to give an MVP?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with my old Mr. Reliable, man. You already know it never fails, man. That's Tamika's boy. It's Woody, man. Woody Marks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's gonna be hard not to go with him at this point. But all right, let's go with Guns. Give us your offensive success.
Yeah, just like Bijan says, right, we really don't know what to expect. Just my thoughts on what I think is going to happen is, it's basically a similar offense to what we've seen in sense of the play calls, the RPOs and such. However, I do think Jayden will be running more in those RPOs than Miller was in those situations. That's what I'm thinking. So I think we're going to be somewhat more balanced with the run game and the passing game. I expect wide receivers to get separation, let Jayden get comfortable, and throw that deep ball. He's got a cannon, so let's use it to our advantage. And the O-line has been playing good every week since the start. So really since Michigan game. So I expect just continued growth there. And MVP, I'm going to give it to the first-time starter here. Well, not really, but for the first-time starter for USC, Jayden Maiava. I think he's gonna ball out. He's gonna get 2 to 3 touchdowns. Definitely one on the ground, and we see an efficient offense.
So Lincoln Riley's going to remember what balance means.
No, the players on the field are going to make the offense balanced. Again, Lincoln's not going to do much, in my opinion. He's going to call the same plays and whatnot. But I think the QB that we have is going to make the offense more efficient, more explosive.
All right. And Raul. You're on mute. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot what Gunner said, a lot of RPO. And I do expect Maiava to, run the ball a lot more, which is going to help our offensive line, right? Our offensive line has looked better these last few games. I'm not sure if it's our competition play or if they've actually gotten better. Hopefully it's more the latter, that they've actually gotten better. But I do expect RPO a lot, and then I do expect also to get a few bombs, passing plays. So we'll see what happens, but that's what I expect. A lot of running as well, and offensive MVP, I'll go with Maiava as well.
All right. Well, so I like everything that you guys are saying. I hope it comes to fruition. I just need Lincoln Riley to go back to 2011 play calling, or not 2011.
I don't even know if he was at ECU then.
I want him to go back to first year Lincoln Riley, where he felt more balanced. Like we leaned on Travis Dye a lot to run the ball for us. And I really hope that happens. And that was when Caleb Williams was taking the ball and running a little bit more. And I know he said he wanted to just sit back and be a pocket passer, but right now it feels like this is the right time to actually be running the ball with the quarterback, of course, since we have Jayden Maiava. And I hope he doesn't think that he can get away with throwing the ball 50 50 times with Jayden Maiava. Like, I'm sure he could do it, but should he be doing that? No, he should not be. He's a playmaker with his legs, so don't try to change him into something that he's not. And the fact that you think that they have the same kind of skill set, Lincoln Riley, is crazy. So don't try to change him into something like that he's not, like what the NFL tries to do with some players. Just hone in on what he does best, and that's taking the ball, making a play with it, and even taking those deep shots. Like I've just been looking at some of his last or some of his highlights, and he does have a cannon for an arm, and this benefits Zachariah Branch. This benefits Deuce Robinson, who can streak down the field. Like they don't have to slow down. You can catch them in stride. If they get caught in a deep ball, like as long as they can, like he just needs to throw them open. Like get the ball up there and then have them run underneath it instead of having to pause to get underneath the ball. But yeah, so I'm going to give it to Maiava as well as my MVP. Like I want to give it to Woody Marks because he's just that dependable, and he like our 80th or 88th ranked Russian offense or 80th ranked Russian offense is definitely not anything indicative of him. It's just he just hasn't been getting enough carries to be able to raise that rushing amount, because we could easily be a top 50, if not better than that, in Russian offense because he has the skill and ability to do it. But I want to give it to Jayden Maiava because I'm sure he's going to be doing a lot more than we're expecting him to do. So, but yep, that's it for the offensive side. So we'll go ahead and get into the second quarter for defensive success. And we'll go ahead and start with Raul this time. Give us your keys to success for the defense. You're on mute.
I would say, for our secondary to step up, I mean, they got Raiola as QB. He's a 5-star quarterback. I know he's been struggling over the last few games, but I think with the new offensive coordinator, they might start, trying to implement a little bit of a different scheme a little bit. And, our secondary needs to be prepared. And then, our D-line has to apply pressure on Raiola, make it very hard on him. We haven't done much of that lately, and our D-line needs to step up. So I hope that the D-line is ready as well to apply pressure and just make it a tough afternoon for Raiola and make it very uncomfortable for him.
All right, and do you have any defensive player of the game you would like to throw out there?
Since I said pressure, I'm gonna go with Sam Green. Hopefully he steps up and is disruptive out there this upcoming Saturday.
And right now he's our best pass rusher, I feel like. So, all right, let's go with B. Jones.
Raul hit it right on the head, man. We gotta find a way to create some pressure. Like I said, we expect a good game from Sam Green. He's very speedy, very explosive off the line, which I've seen Nebraska's offensive linemen struggle with explosive guys like that. So he fits the mold. So he should have a good game, and that was a good call on you, Raul. But I'm going to have to say Mr. Reliable. I'm going to have to go with Mr. Reliable on defense, man. That's number 2. Our guy, J-Rock, man, he hasn't failed us yet, man. Whether it's run support or in coverage, man, he's been great for us. So he plays safe, man, and go with Jason Smith.
Damn, you don't want to live on the edge. You just playing safe.
Living on the edge is cost me this season.
Fair enough. All right, Guns. Can you not play it safe like B. Jones?
We'll see. So yeah, defensive success. I mean, it's definitely gonna come down to the trenches because regardless of the OC change and regardless of the potential QB change, I mean that's going to be the key in this game to get to the quarterback, to get to some of these new adjustments that the OC is looking to do, and so on and so forth. So pressure. Definitely stop the run still, right? Make them one-dimensional, make it easier for the defense, easier for Lynn to call. Maybe some exotic blitzes, stuff like that. I expect definitely a more healthier defense than we've seen the past 2 to 3 games. So again, just stop the run, get pressure. Defensive player of the game. I'm gonna give it to Tompkins. I think Tompkins is gonna ball out this game. Definitely, that D line in general. So.
All right. That's all well and good here. So you didn't play it safe, so I appreciate that.
Whatever, man.
All right. So yeah, this is hard to call because we don't know what to expect with this offense. So we don't know if they're going to try to run the ball a little bit more, but they are 101st in the nation when it comes to rushing offense. So I'm not sure if they're going to still try to rely on their backup quarterback or Dylan Raiola because we don't know who their quarterback's going to be. So it's kind of hard to explain because from what TJ was saying, that they have a very athletic backup quarterback, and they may not try to rely so much on the pass than it is running with the quarterback. So it really all depends. And I think it really is going to come down to our trenches because I have faith in our secondary as long as we're fully healthy. Are we fully healthy in the secondary at this point? Like, do we all know?
As far as
pretty much more, yeah, definitely trending that way.
So wait, who's our starter on the opposite side of Jaylen? It's been so long since we've had our solidified starters.
Yeah, I guess that's the one key is Covington. I would say Covington right now, but he's kind of been hurt. So
okay, so
yeah,
if we can have a full healthy squad on the secondary, I think we should be fine. So that's why I think it's going to really all come down to our interior linemen or just our defensive linemen, our front seven. And so I want to give this to I'm hopping on the Sam Green. I'm not even saying it's a bandwagon at this point. Sam Green's been killing it with the pressure. He's been since Anthony Lucas has gone down. He's probably been the most consistent when it comes to getting pressure. And Cam Fountain's been pretty solid as well. So I'm not sure how much playing time he's going to get if they're going to favor other players ahead at that point. But I think Sam Green has definitely earned more starting time when it comes to being the edge rusher. So I really hope Sam really shines even more in this our homecoming game this week. And we didn't really mention that we're going to be rocking some alternative unis, which they look clean as F. So
I need one, man. ASAP.
Yeah, I actually looked online to see if I can find one.
Yeah,
but yeah, like this is a must-win game. Must win. We have to win this game, and defense is definitely going to have to step up for if our offense is still stagnant. So yeah. I'm giving it to Sam Green for the defensive MVP.
Sounds good.
All right, so now we're going to move on to halftime, and if you guys are watching here, this is not going to be a good halftime show. Halftime recruiting with guns. Guns, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely some good stuff out there. I mean, obviously, we will start with the negative stuff. So if you have been living under the rock the past few hours, Jayden Lau flips to Miami. Oaks Christian kid, D lineman. So that obviously it was a big surprise from most of us, if not all. But definitely expect a few more flips to probably happen in the coming days and weeks. Carday Smith, Duty, Juju. Those are probably some names that are going to flip in the future. Now, let's talk about some positive stuff and replacements, right? So who can replace Jayden Lau? We have two names, St. John Bosco kid, UCLA commit, Epe Delaney. I'm probably butchering these names, and I apologize. Also, a Toby Hastrop, Texas kid. He will be doing his visit this weekend. I heard the St. John Bosco kid is also unofficially. I don't know if that's officially confirmed, but he should be visiting this weekend. So we're definitely, looking to get replacements quickly with that. Who's going to be the future QB, right? Well, it's going to be Corona Centennial QB Houston Longstreet, most likely. Again, will we have to wait until he flips, but all signals are saying that he will eventually, which I do foresee happening. So that'd be a good plus for us and a better fit. And then we have some official visits. Jakeem Stewart officially visiting this weekend. Huge opportunity for the staff, especially after this Hayden Lau situation. Hey, man, there's a huge opportunity for you to come play right away, and we'll see if he likes that. Cass Jacobson also officially visiting this weekend. Oklahoma kid. He's 6'3", 290. He's a 3-star, 4-star. He's definitely rising up lately, and it sounds like it's an OU-SC battle right now. Floyd Bucard will also be back in town this weekend, and then also a 26 running back. Sean Alston will be visiting unofficially. He's an Ohio kid. I know he wants to commit, a little bit earlier than normal, so he's definitely going through his visits and whatnot. But that's the main summary of our recruiting with guns. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and we can get them answered.
So is it? So you said we're having a Bosco. Is it Epi Citinelli?
Yeah, if that's how you say it. I was probably butchering, but that is the kid. Yes, we're hearing that. Yeah. We're definitely getting back on traction with him.
That's crazy because I remember when we first heard about him, and then it just like nothing happened after that, and then he commits to UCLA. So
right.
So hey, that's another in-state recruit. Hopefully we can get him. So.
Absolutely.
And who do we have? Because we have some offensive linemen coming back out here just recently, right? I thought we had some of our commits coming back out here. I really think that we need to get our wide receivers back out here. That we're kind of depending on Juju Lewis to commit to USC or at least stay committed. We need to get them back out here on campus and have them remember why they committed to us, not just based off Juju Lewis. Now we need to get B Jones' boy out here and have them fraternize and just make sure that they can get on good terms with each other and not having to worry about like, hey, are you still solid? We don't need someone that's going to having to have the wide receivers keep texting them saying like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, totally. I mean, definitely locals are going to visit this weekend, and there'll be more names. It's still somewhat early for some of these insiders to give us names and finding out who's really coming out. So definitely find out more. But I agree. Definitely think wide receivers should be coming out here hopefully in these next 2 games, and get more familiar.
Hey,
for y'all too.
And then just since keeping it crunched, it's a marathon, boys. It's a marathon.
That's right.
It's not a race, so be patient.
Yeah, but the race is almost up in December.
It's not. Come on, Lucky Chan. You gotta stop that negativity, man. Gotta stay positive here. We're building a program, and
we're losing the build right now.
No, we're not.
It's nothing, man.
One player is not gonna make or break us.
If we're losing 4 players, that
doesn't matter. We'll replace those players with someone else.
Got a transfer portal, man.
Yeah, we got transfer portal. I mean, we give. Hold on. Give me a second, Black Chan here. Like I said, a player is not gonna make or break. And as much crap that people give Deion Sanders, he brought up a good point. If he's going to recruit players from the high school level, he expects them to play right away. And that's kind of like an era that we're in right now with the transfer portal. So we're better off getting transfer portal guys that are ready to be, a starter or at least be a backup. Because right now, a lot of these high school kids, as much as we want them, like, trust me, I want these kids, but they're probably not going to make a big difference next year. So we're better off getting, a transfer portal guy.
Yeah.
Upcoming season for next season.
Yeah.
Definitely how this dictates will determine portal, everything, all these positions.
And listen, man, we are now in a position in Lincoln Riley's tenure to where we have to succeed next year.
Yeah, we have to.
Like, it is mandatory.
Well, I honestly thought it was this year too.
That can contribute right away.
But we just got to be able to recruit them and actually get them here. Like our NIL is definitely gonna need to step up, and we have to take the Oregon and Ohio State route with paying these kids even if they're overpriced.
Well, if we're talking about portal, I prefer to take the Indiana route. I don't care what these guys are ranked.
Yeah.
Let's see the production. What does their production say from their previous team?
Yeah, and that's true.
But off the ranking of what you were in high school, which makes zero sense to me. What you did in high school does not matter once you sign that paper.
Yeah,
So
I still like
going into the transfer.
It still sucks that we missed out on Derek Harmon, which he didn't have much production, and now look what he's doing at Oregon.
Well, yeah, of course you're going to have to use your eyes as well.
Yeah, so we can't just we can't just go based off production, because sometimes even production doesn't mean anything, because some players that we have that have had some production before are not producing right now. So, like, because we thought we had a like an all American wide receiver the other year, and didn't really do anything for us when we had him. So.
Yeah.
Hey, like I said, stay positive, man. I'm not trying to hear this negativity.
Okay, I'm just being real.
It's not being real or not. I mean, the point is that we're gonna get players to replace these guys, and it's not gonna make or break us. One player's not gonna make or break us. Juju could flip.
I did not say one player was going to make or break us. We're losing 4 players.
It doesn't matter. Those 4 players are not gonna make or break us. We're gonna replace some of those players. At the end of the day, it's USC.
We're not proving on the college level. It's okay.
Yeah. Wow. That is true, but still, we still need to recruit out of high school.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Third quarter.
All right, offense, or we already did all that here. So we're just going to the predictions. Go ahead and give us your predictions, Guns, or score predictions.
Yeah, so with our game first, Nebraska at USC. USC is the favorite. My final thoughts, again, it's going to come down to the trenches on both sides. I like that we're getting healthier, so that's a big plus. As some of you might know, I have an undefeated record when watching the USC Trojans live in person, and I will be at this game live in person. So I anticipate a USC victory here. I'll give me 35-20 ball game, and I drive home happy.
I used to be able to say that. All right, Raul.
Well, Gunner doesn't travel to see his team lose, so I'm gonna go with the USC victory as well. The Light the Torch podcast crew is gonna be out there at the Nebraska game, so not you, but we'll be there for sure. And,
I'll be there to hear it.
I see USC. I'm gonna go with 38-21.
Okay. All right, B. Jones.
Yeah, I mean, make it short and sweet. I'm going to say 38-24. That is the score that I gave TJ earlier, so I'm going to stick with that one. 38-24 Trojans.
Until I see anything different, I'm keeping this close. 27-24 USC, because we haven't shown to have a killer instinct when we get ahead. So
completely understandable. Completely understandable, man. There's no wrong answer anymore.
I'm going to have a heart attack during this game. So unless we're actually, I'm not even going to be okay with being up by like 14 points going into the fourth quarter. I'm still going to have a heart attack wherever I'm at. Hopefully I'm at not another kid's party, so I can scream and yell in my confines of my house. I've been at 2 kids' birthday parties for a USC game. That's just unacceptable, and I can't do that.
That is unacceptable.
We're running kids' parties, man.
That was funny, though. All right, guys, let's get into the rest of the Big Ten games, shall we? So we have a Friday night game here. UCLA at Washington.
Wait.
Washington. Yep.
Wait, B Jones had something. Did you have something?
Oh, sorry.
No, sorry. Go ahead. I
Oh,
apologize.
okay.
We're all good. Sorry if I
That's it.
cut
No,
someone
go ahead.
off.
I apologize.
Okay, perfect. Sorry. Again, perfect. I'll get going then. Again, UCLA at Washington. Washington is the favorite by 4 points. I got Washington. I got Washington there at home. So give me Washington.
Yeah. Washington's going to go to 20-0 on their home streak, so I think Washington's going to win. They're doing great at home, so I can't see them losing this one.
I'm gonna go UCLA. Believe it or not, guys.
What? Whoa. Hey, you know what?
Okay.
I'm actually not mad at that.
They've improved,
They have.
and they played in a tough environment in Lincoln, came out victorious. So I could see them doing the same thing at Washington, because you guys pointed out Washington doesn't have great tackles, and we'll see. But I do predict the UCLA win, unfortunately.
Okay.
B Jones, who did you pick? Sorry.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna do something that I rarely do when it comes to this, but he's had a good track record as of late, and it's really paid off for him. I'm gonna agree, Raul, man. I'm gonna take the
Boo
Bruins.
yourself.
Yeah, seriously, man. Right?
Boo.
Yeah, man.
Totally understandable, though, boys. Totally understandable.
They have been doing better, so I'll give them that.
It looked much more improved. There's a team that you actually seen improve this season.
Right.
It's still not great, but
worse.
they haven't.
Definitely. All right, big game here. Next is Ohio State at Northwestern. This is actually at Wrigley Field, which is cool. Big time favorite for Ohio State, obviously, and I anticipate Ohio State to win, but it's cool that they're playing at a baseball field.
Ohio State. I'm just getting it out of here. That Ohio State is going to beat them by like 30 plus.
Yeah, I'll keep it short. Ohio State as well.
Yep. Sure.
Perfect. Next game is Michigan State at Illinois. Illinois is the small favorite. I will go with the home team here with Illinois winning.
Yeah, I'll pick Illinois as well. I haven't really watched too much Michigan State, so I can't really say anything.
I would have to agree. I haven't seen any of those games really, but I'll go Illinois.
Okay, so I have seen Michigan State, and I'm still going Illinois.
All right, perfect. Next game is Penn State at Purdue. Penn State's the big favorite, and I anticipate Penn State winning.
Let's say it together. Purdue. Penn State, easily.
Yeah, Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right, next game then is Rutgers at Maryland. Maryland is the favorite here at home, and I'll go with the home team here, Maryland.
I don't care about any of these teams. They both beat us. Oh no, we beat Rutgers. So
Yeah.
That's sad that I couldn't remember.
That was last week, I think, or maybe 2 weeks ago with those two teams faced that we didn't win.
Maryland.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Maryland as well.
Hey, did we beat Rutgers? I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time we won a game. So
We beat
Did
Rutgers.
we really beat them though, guys?
yeah, we did.
It really happened.
All right, I'm gonna go Rutgers.
Okay, perfect. All right, and then the last Big Ten game before we get into some of the top 25 matchups. Oregon going to Wisconsin. Night game. Oregon is 2-touchdown favorite. I hope I'm wrong, but Oregon, will be the victorious.
I'm calling Wisconsin. They're on a revenge tour right now.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Wisconsin. I can't go the other way, guys. On this one. Sorry. I mean,
just don't see it. Sorry,
I mean,
man.
it's gonna be a tough for them to win out there, but I can see it happen, right? It's gonna be in Wisconsin at night. Depends on who the quarterback is. Is the starting quarterback done or?
For Wisconsin,
Yeah.
I think it's the lock, the backup.
I mean, I heard that
Yeah, 'cause-
they don't look good, but I'm gonna try to speak it into existence, B. John. Come on.
Okay. So we're going for
That's basically what I just did. I'm just trying to speak it into existence.
yeah, we try that every week, man. It ain't worked yet.
Maybe we should do
What
the other way
happened to-
then. Let's
Like-
go Oregon, guys. Everybody, Oregon.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just not gonna fool myself this time. I've been doing this all season. I've been doing that, trying to speak it into existence, and it ain't happened. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go with the sucks.
Boo.
All right, guys, let's get into some of the top 25 matchups. Again, we're only focused on two touchdowns or less. Texas at Arkansas. Texas 2-touchdown favorite on the road. I think Texas blows them out on the road.
Yeah, I'll keep it simple. Texas.
I'm surprised it's actually this close, but Arkansas has been fairly decent at home, so I'm still gonna have Texas, and I think Arkansas keeps it close for a little bit.
Okay, perfect. All right, next game here is.
Jones hasn't gone.
Oh, I thought you said Texas. Did you say Texas?
You just read my mind. No, that's all.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Texas and not his head. I swear.
No, but I mean, listen, Texas has already proven that they can win on the road.
Apologies.
I don't expect anything different this week.
Right.
I don't think Arkansas really poses a threat, so Texas it is.
Okay. All right. Officially now, the next game, Utah at Colorado. Colorado is just a little under 2-touchdown favorite. And give me Colorado, man. They're looking good.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So who is
concede. Huh?
It's Colorado and who?
It's Colorado, Utah.
And where they're playing at
At
Colorado?
Colorado.
It's at Colorado. Yep. Mhm.
I'm conceding.
Every
and
time the second team is the home team. Just saying.
I'm conceding, and I'm gonna give Colorado their flowers. They're leading the Big Ten, the Big 12 in sacks, which is kind of surprising. So I'll give it to them. Travis Hunter is doing his thing. He's the Heisman favorite at this point, and yeah, screw whatever.
Did it really hurt you that much?
It kind of did.
Yeah, I'll go
But I'm
Colorado.
telling you, I still love seeing that.
I'll go Colorado on this one. I mean, Utah hasn't been looking good at all, and they blew their chance last week. So
And they lost their quarterback on his 7th year.
Yep. I don't see anything different than what you guys see. Utah is not the same Utah, man. So it's like Colorado will be able to pull this one off.
If it was in Utah, I
Wait,
could
wait,
see. Oh, go ahead.
Let's just make sure we let everyone know that Utah is not the same Utah. Because we know these Colorado fans are going to be unbearable when they get this W against Utah.
Yeah, they are. But see, clearly Utah's not the same Utah because they were bitching and complaining about a play that lost them the game, even though it was clear pass interference.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, moving on.
All right, next game is Clemson at Pitt. Clemson is 10-point favorite, and I'm gonna go Pitt here. I mean, last week's performance from Clemson kind of rubbed me the wrong way, so I'm gonna go with Pitt here.
I still like Clemson. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I still like Clemson in this, but it is at Pitt, which is a hard place to play. But I'm still on that train with Clemson.
Yeah, hey, we haven't seen Clemson be Clemson in quite some time. It looked like they were somewhat on their way back, and then they start doing stuff that looks like recent Clemson again. So, yeah, I just don't see them winning this one either. I'm with you on this one, guys.
Yeah, same thing. I was gonna say I'm gonna go with Pitt, especially since they're at home.
All right.
That's gonna be the difference maker.
All right, perfect. Next game is Tulane, 25 ranked at Navy. Tulane is 7-point favorite, and I'm gonna go Navy here.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, John.
So yeah, go Navy.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about.
Are you going to pick Navy then?
No, I'm just kidding.
I was just gonna say, out of respect for you, B. Jones, I'm just gonna go Navy for you, man. Hopefully, they pull it off.
Navy gang.
I guess I'll show respect to you, B. Jones. So I'll go with Navy.
Where you at, Ken? I know you're in the chat.
Hey, Ken, your check says Navy, so
All right.
Okay, we're all good. Perfect. Next game is LSU at Florida. LSU is a 4.5-point favorite.
I don't get that.
Very surprising. DJ Lagway might play this week, which can create some problems since LSU can't defend a running quarterback. We'll see. I'm going to give the edge to LSU right now, though, on the Wednesday. So,
Yeah, I'm giving it to LSU.
you know what? Yeah, DJ Lagway makes all the difference, man. For the Florida team. Florida has not been great with DJ. Without him, they will be terrible, man. So I'm gonna go LSU as well.
I'm gonna be petty, and I'm just go Florida.
okay, perfect.
Why? For what reason?
Because they were talking so much. Yeah, I'm just like I said, I'm just being petty. They were talking so much crap at Vegas, so you know what? Just take another L.
You can't say nothing on the way out.
Yeah, we can't say anything anymore
Hey,
about Vegas.
no matter.
No,
We won that game. I don't care what you say, decent.
Last time we matched up, we won. So by the bylaws of fandom, we have all bragging rights.
Yep.
All right, perfect. Well, next game is Mizzou at South Carolina. South Carolina is a 2-touchdown favorite, and I think South Carolina wins. I think Mizzou is very overrated.
Very overrated. South Carolina.
Hey, Mizzou still has a
Mizzou?
chance. How do you say them? I can't pronounce it right now. I'm over here. They still have a chance at the playoffs, guys. Come on, but I'm gonna go with South Carolina.
Oh God, idiot.
Yeah, South Carolina is.
Okay, next game is Boise State at San Jose State. Boise State is the 2-touchdown favorite on the road. You know what? I think it's going to be a close game, but Boise State's going to win still. But I don't think they cover 2 touchdowns.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I really. Yeah. Really.
Really?
Really.
I think Boise State wins.
Yeah. Not only do they win, they definitely cover. I think Ashton Genty might go for 300.
Yeah, I got Austin Gente or whatever his name is over San Jose State.
I think he's like the second best player right now for the Heisman.
And then he should be the Heisman winner.
I'll say that first.
Yeah, you can definitely make an argument he should be. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're good. So next game, Arizona State at Kansas State. Kansas State is 8.5-point favorite. I'm gonna go upset here with ASU and Kenny Dillingham.
Give me Scatterbo.
Yeah.
Go with Arizona State.
You know I'm gonna roll with y'all, man.
Okay.
I'll go Arizona State. Why not?
All right.
Go
Perfect.
Sun Devils. Go Sun Devils.
All right. We got a few more left. Definitely a lot of pretty close matchups, so that's good for a good weekend. But Tennessee at Georgia. Georgia is the 10-point favorite. Sounds like Nico might be out with the concussion. We'll see. I think he's going through the protocol. But I do think Georgia is the winner. Just don't know. I trust. I don't know. This is a toss up. This really is to me. So,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna give the edge to Georgia because they're at home. But man, this is as I'm talking, I can see Tennessee winning. So
yeah, yeah. I'm with you guys. I can say Georgia, but I don't even feel 100% confident in that, man. Tennessee still looks good even without Nico. Their defense is just lights out, man. So
Yeah.
we know Carson Beck has been struggling, so I don't know. That could really go either way, but safe pick. I'm gonna just say Georgia just because they're at home.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Georgia's just on the fact that they're at home and it's a must win for them. If not, they're out of the playoffs in my opinion if they lose.
absolutely.
I think it's a must win for Tennessee too. I think if they lose here, I don't think they make it into the playoffs.
Yep, it's elimination games.
Yeah, so
They both 2 losses, right?
no, Tennessee only has one. They only lost to Arkansas.
Yeah.
So yeah, Georgia is really going to want to bounce back. So that's the only reason why I'm giving it to them. And it's at home, so they definitely need to bounce back and not play like God. They were garbage against Ole Miss. So can Carson Beck do something for them? Who knows? So I'm giving it to Georgia.
Okay. All right, this one should be pretty quick. Washington State at New Mexico. Washington State is ranked. Pretty surprising. 10.5-point favorite. Go Washington State.
Yep, same.
I'm gonna say shout out Sam Gallegos. I'm a root for New Mexico. I think that's his son plays there, right?
I thought he was at.
I think it's New Mexico State. I think it's
Yeah,
New Mexico State.
okay.
Yeah, I think.
If
could
it's
be
not
wrong.
the New Mexico, then let me go.
Definitely is
Washington
New
State.
Mexico.
But I thought it was that. I thought that was a team. So
New Mexico State's playing Texas A&M, and they're a 39-point underdog.
got it. All right.
B Jones.
B Jones, you good?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go Wazoo too, man.
All right, perfect. All right, last game, guys, of our predictions for the top 25. Kansas at BYU. BYU is only a 2.5 favorite. It's pretty interesting. I know Kansas coming off a big upset last week, but I like the journey that BYU has been on, so I'm gonna keep going with BYU.
Yep, same here. BYU. I want them to win the Big 12 and just stay undefeated.
Same.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Perfect, guys. Well, that's really it for the predictions for Big Ten and the rest of the top 25. I'm trying to keep them, close matchups so, they can see some crazy upsets. But, yeah, that'll pretty much be it. Do we have anything else for the chat?
Shout out to the USC women's basketball team. They got what was it? The 300th win for
Yes.
Coach, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the most points scored in a game too.
Yeah, 124 to 30 to 33 or something like that. 39. Yeah, like the highest scoring player on the other team only had 11 points. So that's insane, and everyone's contributing. So this is what winning looks like, guys.
And then shout out to the boys as well. I mean, they're looking
Did
nice.
they play today?
They do play today. They do play today. I think they're tipping off here in about 7 minutes. Yeah, man, excited for both sides of the programs for basketball, especially the women's. We have high expectations. Definitely have a great chance to win the Natty, especially with this team we got. Man, so much talent. Starting with obviously Juju, and
Smith is killing it.
Yeah.
The freshman.
Yeah, Kennedy Smith.
We played Texas Arlington tonight, but all right, so that's it for the show. And don't forget, follow our Twitch channel because Guns is playing. Who are we playing this weekend? Or who?
It's next weekend. Yeah, next weekend it is. Just give me one quick second since we're on a bye. It is. Just 1 second. Just give me 2 seconds. It is. We are playing. Where are they? Sorry. LSU. We are playing LSU at LSU. Big time game. we're going to Baton Rouge, going to the field, and we're gonna dominate.
All right, yeah, just give us a follow on Twitch and give Guns a follow on his YouTube channel, Views from the Stands. And if you want to be seen in the game in college football 2025, subscribe or become a member for $1.99, and then we'll get you added to it. DM B Jones on Twitter or on IG if you follow us on IG as well. And yeah, and so catch us.
Before we end it, we didn't answer Terrence's questions. I don't know if he's still in the chat or not, but
Oh yeah,
I definitely want to address that. I personally don't think that's real or true. I think it's a lot of player talk, or I don't know what's the proper word of saying it, but it was pretty much NIL driven.
I would definitely confirm from come from my sources.
Yeah,
that was all a load of crap. That whole that whole statement was trash and not true.
Yeah, at first I didn't believe it, and now it hurts, but it is what it is, and that's the state of college football at this point. NIL, it's NIL first, then team you like second.
Yep.
And then Calix Rose, been football depressed for weeks, man. Just cheer up. Better times are coming.
Yep.
If you're gonna be in town for the game, come on over. We'll cheer you up. Raul right here, Mr. Positive. He'll get you going in like 5 seconds. I'm telling you.
Hey, I don't want to be all negative. We're not gonna win anything out of it. We can be realistic, but yeah, it sucks to lose a player, but it's not gonna make or break us. We're gonna replace the guys. The season hasn't gone according to the plan, but things aren't as bad as they seem. Like, there is some good things going on, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And, hopefully this Saturday it's a step up on the offensive side as well.
As long as they all stay, that's all that matters.
So the real question is, whose tailgate are we hitting up this weekend?
If you guys want a steak from USC Psycho, you have to get a steak now.
What's that?
He has a website where you can actually order like a specific type of steak or whatever, or order burgers from him. And he gets them like specially made and all that stuff. Looks really good, but it's kind of expensive. But USC Psycho, or you can go to what's his name's? I can't remember his name's.
Are we doing a podcast after the game, or what are we doing?
No, we're not doing a live podcast after the game.
Well, I'll be on the road anyways.
Yeah, he's going to be on the road. So we go back to our original.
You guys can do it, definitely.
No.
I thought we were going to party right after we win, but
even if we win, I still don't want to do it live right after it. Too many people are going live at the same time, so
that's fair. Yeah.
All right. That is
that's going to do it for the show today, guys. Definitely give us a follow on all of our social medias. We'll be talking about USC football throughout the day. And until next time, guys, keep the torch burning bright. And always, fight on, guys.
Fight on.